Just give me 1 minute here before I start this. This is going to be your first game, though, of the 25 season. Can't believe we're already in this part of the year already, but should be a fun one here. I'm just at the main menu screen. Well, not main menu. It's more so the main menu franchise. But you know what I mean there in that one. But anyway, we're going to do some Astros versus Mets here at Dankin Field. Oh, Dankin Park, sorry. The new name for Minute Maid Park. I still can't believe they changed that that name, too. But it should be a very interesting game here between the Mets and the Astros. It's going to be Juan Soto's debut as a Met. It should be a very interesting opening day game here at Dankin Park, formerly known as Minute Maid Park. Changed the name earlier this offseason. But like I said, this is a big game between both ball clubs. Both are big-time winners last year. Astros, of course, won their division, the American League West, for a record time. And the Mets made it all the way to the National League Championship game, falling to the eventual World Series champion Dodgers. But here we are with opening day of the 2025 season. Lots of interesting games on hand for this season. Paul Skeens with his first opening day start later today against the Mets. You got Yankees and Brewers, as the Yankees will enter a year without Juan Soto. You're also going to have the world champion Dodgers in the nightcap facing the Detroit Tigers in LA. And a slew of other games. But right now, this is the projected team for the Astros. Yordan Alvarez leading most of the categories except for stolen bases with Jose Altuve, and they're projected to finish second this year in the American League West, only behind the Texas Rangers. Which is funny, that's a Texas team that's above them. But there's Flammer Valdez. He's going to pitch this game today for opening day for the Astros. And Framber Valdez, he's definitely one of those underrated pitchers that doesn't get enough talks by a lot of people. Mainly probably because he plays for the Astros. And we all know the history of the Astros. The Astros everyone hates because of that 2017 championship that they won against the Dodgers. And leading things off for the Mets is going to be their DH, Starling Marte. Very interesting choice that they have Starling Marte as a DH this year for the Mets. And if first off, a hit here by Starling Marte and the Mets. Already have a person on first as the first hit of the game goes to the Mets. Shocker there for Framber Valdez, and up next will be Jeff McNeil. Oh, this Mets team had an amazing year last year. We did not think that the Mets team last year was going to make the playoffs or even be close to that rank. They did not have a good first start half of the year last year. But then, as you know, a slew of winning streaks and a little bit of grimace luck got them to the postseason. And he's out. Starling Marte tried to steal second. But Yanier Diaz threw out Starling Marte. He was flying down the bases, but what a throw by Yanier Diaz behind the dish. Already there's our first Steeler getting caught there. It's Marte. Marte used to have pretty decent speed. He kind of has that still, but not very much. McNeil's going to ground the ball out to Altuve, and there's the second out of the inning. Now, I don't have injuries on, by the way, for this year, but here's the Mets lineup. Next up's going to be the big man, Juan Soto. Mark Vientos is fourth, Lindor is fifth, Alonso sixth, Memo seventh, Alvarez at eighth, and the cleanup man is Jose Siri in center. And you got a couple of bench bats like Jesse Winker, but here's the big man. Here's Juan Soto, the owner of the most expensive contract in MLB history now. Made the World Series with the Yankees last year, and now he went over in New York to the Mets. And we'll see if Juan Soto can bring the Mets to a World Series again. There you go. And a swing and a miss by Soto. 2-2 to Juan Soto. Juan Soto's a guy where you either just want to put him at DH or in right field, which is what the Yankees are doing, or not the Yankees, the Mets are doing with Juan Soto this year. They're putting him in the right field spot this year. They had him DH last year. Well, actually right last year. And Soto strikes out the Flammer Valdez. Now in the top of the first inning, Juan Soto strikes out to begin his first at-bat as a Met. And of course for the Mets pitching today is going to be Kodai Senga. Kodai Senga only had one game last year due to an injury. He's been injured a little bit over the last 2 years, but his 2023 was a good year. He was injured to start the year in 2024, and then of course he had that one game that he got injured again. Here's Jose Altuve, the captain for the Astros this year. They forced rid of Alex Bregman. They let Bregman walk to the Boston Red Sox, and then they traded Tucker to the Cubs for a decent return package. So right now it seems like Altuve is the only man left of that 2017 World Series team. Because Correa's over with Minnesota and Springer's over with the Blue Jays. 1-1 to Altuve. Altuve will pop it up to center field. Ball will have a little bit of carry, but caught out in center field by the new man, Jose Siri, who was signed here in the offseason. And here's your Astro lineup. You got Marcelo Dibon here at the batting nets. You got Yordan Alvarez third. Christian Walker will be fourth. Yanier Diaz at fifth. Isak Brett 6th. John Singleton's going to be your DH. Jeremy Pena is the 8th man. The cleanup number 9 is Chaz McCormick. Here's Marcelo Dibon as your second hitter tonight. Or you can say this afternoon, because technically it's only 3 o'clock here in Houston. 1-0 right now to Dibon. And 2-0, Senga, you know that if you watched him in 2023, he had a little bit of trouble adjusting to the major league level. And he had a decent amount of walks put up, but he still put up an all-star season for the Mets that year. You know, the Mets missed the playoffs. 2-1, hit by Dion, and it's not caught, and short by Lindor. That's the first hit of the game for the Astros. If only the Pirates didn't suck. Well, here's Yordan, but yeah, the Pirates are going to be interesting this year, especially with a full-year Paul Skeens, and they could call up some of their top prospects. Yordan, geez Louise, Yordan almost hit his first base coach there. Yordan, he's always going to be the big man for the Astros. He's one of the scariest hitters in the league. And if you ever have a fantasy draft or anything like that, it's good always to pick Yordan Alvarez. Missed pitch there by Senga and an easy stolen base for Dion. You know, what happened to that ball? Missed one off the shoulder pad of Francisco Alvarez. Hopefully no trash cans are out in the crowd today. We don't need to see that and all that cheating aspect from the Astros. Alvarez takes ball 2. Good idea for Alvarez. Last year Yordan Alvarez had a couple of terrible swing and misses in the wild card game against the Detroit Tigers, and due to the Astros hitting, they failed against the Tigers. And for the first time since 2016, they did not make the American League Championship game. Mainly because A, they couldn't win hardly at home, and B, their hitting just absolutely went goodbye in that series. Alvarez fouls the ball. You think Paul Skeens is top 10 pitcher? Yep. I think he is. He's already shown it already. Alvarez, oh God, look out. We got some Air Yordan here tonight in Houston. That thing is way gone. 452, Yordan Alvarez. First home run of the year and of the season. That thing was crushed by Air Yordan. 452. Had some huge carries. That curved a little bit too. And that's why you have to be careful when you pitch to this man. It's crazy to believe that he was traded by the Dodgers. And can you imagine the Dodgers having this man? But no, a bat flip and everything by Yordan Alvarez. That thing was in the air for over 6 seconds, and it had a hell of a launch angle. 107.8 off the bat. Good God. And already the Astros have put themselves on the board 2-0. Yep, Devin's right with that. He's a great hitter. One of the best in the league. He's always going to put up at least 30 bombs a year. I mean, he's not Aaron Judge, but... I mean, Judge also has the vision of a smoker and a blind person in some parts, so... He's not going to swing and miss as much as Judge does. But he won't win as many MVPs as Judge. Unless Judge is hurt, which happened a few years ago when Judge ran his foot into that fence or door over at Dodger Stadium in 2023, which was the year that Shohei won the MVP for a second time. And strike 3 to Christian Walker, the new Astro, is struck out Kodai Senga. And here's Yadier Diaz, the catcher. Diaz, it feels like the Astros have this weird talent pool of their farm system where they suddenly find random-ass talents and they just blossom into great stars. I mean, you had Jeremy Pena back in 2022 when the Astros won the World Series. He won World Series MVP and American League Championship MVP. Devin says to let O'Neal Cruz have a good year this year. I think he will over in center field. And I think center field's better for O'Neal Cruz anyway. He's got the speed for it, and he's got the cannon of an arm. Here's Isaac Paredes, the former Tampa Bay Ray and Chicago Cub. He was traded by the Rays last year during the trade deadline to the Cubs. And then he ends up being signed. Either he was signed to the Astros or he was traded in the Kyle Tucker trade that sent Tucker to Chicago and sent people like Cam Smith, one of Chicago's top prospects, over to Houston. And now Cam Smith is the top prospect man over in Houston. I might do the Pirates-Marlins game later today so we can see Paul Skeens on the mound. But there's Yordan, number 44. Never forget Yordan Alvarez, because he can crush balls like that. It's 2-0 Met, 2-0 Astros at the end of the first. Still waiting for the World Series title. Here's Mark Vientos. Vientos is one of those guys last year. He had one of those out-of-nowhere seasons. This came out of complete left field when the Grimace streak started for the Mets. And the Grimace streak was what started the road for the Mets to put them into the postseason. And the Mets took that with them into the postseason where they beat the Brewers in pretty close 3-game series, beat the Phillies in 4, and then lost the Dodgers in 6. Yeah, Downs. I think Downs don't have to wait a little bit while for the Pirates to win a World Series. He could be still alive, but we'll see when that happens. They just need some of their top guys to get going over in Pittsburgh other than just Paul Skeens. Mark Vientos hits a pitch up the middle, and the Mets are just like earlier in the first inning, the Mets already have a base runner. The problem was, though, Marte got caught stealing, and then then 2 strikeouts. Or as everyone says to Paul Skeens, Ollie Dunn's ex-boyfriend. There you go. And here is the top man for the Mets, and Francisco Lindor, the locker room leader, former Cleveland Guardian / Cleveland Indian. I know, I said Indian. Oh my God, it's not like they call them that anymore. Oh well, I'm still going to call them the Indians. That's what I grew up with, is them being called the Indians and the Washington Commanders being called the Redskins. Swing and a pop-up there by Lindor, chasing an outside pitch. Not very Lindor-like, but sometimes that will happen to players. Here is the big man. Here's the polar bear. Here's Pete Alonso, just like Francisco Alvarez. Not Francisco Alvarez, but Yordan Alvarez. Pete Alonso is one of those power bats. He will crush baseballs. And unlike Yordan, he plays first base. Alonso, as a rookie, had 49 bombs. And not only that, but he is a 2-time winner of the Home Run Derby. Signed a extension with the Mets in the offseason. It didn't look like it at first like he was going to come back to the Mets. But they were able to pull away with a deal with Pete Alonso. And Alonso strikes out looking on our curveball. 32 strikeouts for Framber Valdez. And here comes Brandon Nimmo, the left fielder, Brandon Nimmo. Nimmo hits the ball up. Hard hit ball off the bat of Brandon Nimmo, 106 off his bat. And a hell of a throw out center by Chaz McCormick. And the Mets are trying to rally here with 2 outs. They got 2 people on for Francisco Alvarez. Oh, ball bounced a little bit off of Yanier Diaz, but he's able to make sure that it does not do the bat stop. Mets trying to thread here. They need to if they want to get back into the game. Valdez and a foul there by Alvarez. Francisco Alvarez, one of those guys that comes out of another country and absolutely dominates his position. And that's going to be a foul ball. Bounced off the foul line, but it is still a foul ball. Someone get why Bob then didn't trade it. Andrew McCludgeon then brought him back. That's typical, though. And a swing and a miss by Alvarez. And the Astros escape. Here comes John Singleton, a former first-round pick of theirs back in 2014. Probably would have been playing first base today if it wasn't for Christian Walker. Real life, Christian Walker's injured. He's going to be injured, I think, for a couple months, and we'll see who plays first base for the Astros in real life. But in this universe, no one has an injury. Swing and a miss by Singleton.
1-1.
Singleton's just like a lot of other first basemen. They have lots of power, but their fielding is absolute crap, and they don't have much speed. You don't really see that much from a first baseman anymore. Here's Jeremy Pena, 2022 World Series MVP, but ever since that MVP year, Jeremy Pena has fallen flat on his damn face. Every single year, he seems to be worse and worse. Bob might be the worst owner in MLB right now. No, that would be the White Sox owner. Because they're the White Sox. Swing and a miss by Pena. There's the Pena we know now. It's either the White Sox owner or it's Artie Moreno. Artie Moreno is also a terrible owner. He's the man responsible for signing that contract for Anthony Rendon.
0-1.
Here's Chaz McCormick. Chaz McCormick, 2023 All-Star. Shit year last year. Another one of the reasons why the Astros had a crap wildcard game against the Detroit Tigers. And a part of that 2022 World Series winning team with the Astros.
That missed. That's a ball.
Still not the worse than Dave. Yeah, there you go. From Carolina there to the Panthers ownership. Not good either. Swing, oh wow. McCormick caught looking. Good job there for the Mets to close out the Astros' bottom hitters. Here comes the 9th man, center field, Jose Siri, the former Tampa Bay Ray. Siri flies the ball out to center and easily caught there by McCormick. Siri's one of those guys just like a lot of the players in Tampa Bay, where they, in hindsight, they're not a star, they're not a hindsight player, but out of nowhere, they just seem to have these talented seasons. The Rays are just one of those teams that know how to blossom their young players into absolute stars. Junior Caminario is going to be one of those guys. They also have Randy Rosarena, who got traded to Seattle. And a couple other guys. You'll see the Rays at some point down the line. The only issue with the Rays are they don't have a home right now. They're playing out of a AAA field due to Tropicana Field and the hurricane that happened over in Florida. There's another team that also won't have a home this year. The Athletics will be playing over in Sacramento for the next couple seasons because their ballpark's getting made over in Las Vegas. And Marte, again, with a second hit of the day, gets on base for a second time. Hopefully Marte does not try to steal second and fail at it like he did earlier. It'll be very interesting what the ballpark for the A's will be like in Las Vegas. Because if you've read the news about the A's beforehand, they're supposed to stay in Oakland with Howard's Terminal. That project got thrown under the rug and then bought by Vegas due to John Fisher, and how John Fisher is also a terrible owner as well. McNeil fouls a ball off there, off the shin guard of Yanier Diaz. It's 2-1 here for McNeil, top the third, 2-0 Astros off a home run by Yordan Alvarez, but no one has scored since that home run. Juan Soto will come up next. We'll see if Soto can live up to his contract, and they've walked Jeff McNeil, which means there's 2 people on for Juan Soto. Waiting for the Twins to come to North Carolina. That'll be interesting. Here's Soto. Soto hits the ball. Well, Soto did his first RBI as a Met. And safe is Starling Marte. Juan Soto, an RBI single, and the Mets are within 1. The contract starting to pay off for Juan Soto. Struck out his first at-bat and gets an RBI single in his second. That's the Juan Soto that the Mets fan base wants. They want those clutch hitting there for Juan Soto. And Mark Vientos up to bat again. The Mets are threatening. That's the issue when you face the Mets. You do not want to make mistakes to the Mets hitting core when you get to those middle spots. That's what the Astros did. Valdez walked McNeil and then Soto capitalized. Vientos hits a ball. They need a double play to escape. There's 1 and there's 2. The Mets did double played, but Juan Soto with his RBI single, his first ever RBI as a Met, puts them on the board, but they're still down by 1. There comes Altuve, but more about the contract here. So Juan Soto signed it in the offseason. It was either Juan Soto was going to come back as a Yankee, or he was going to the Mets. But then he chose the Mets for a lot of money. And a lot of Yankees fans are still going to be pissed off at Juan Soto. Because, I mean, he brought them to a World Series, helped the Yankees to a World Series, but then they absolutely fell apart in 5 to the Dodgers. Mainly because Cashman did an absolute terrible job at managing the team in the World Series. We'll see. Devin says it was supposed to happen back in the 2000s, but the Twins pulled the Penguins. That is true. Pop up by Jose Altuve, right to Pete Alonso. I will say something about Pete Alonso. Is I always like Pete Alonso wearing the shades. Spur the Yankees. Okay, that was a bad pitch. Marcelo Dibon just absolutely crammed the ball. The train is running here in DeVal Park. It's now 3-1 Astros. Now, what the hell happened to that pitch there to Kodai Saina? That thing was murdered by Marcelo Dibon. It's now 3-1 Astros. From the bench manager for the, or pitching manager for the Mets, I'd maybe want to talk to Kodai Saina about that one. That must have got away from him on that one. That was the worst pitch I ever seen. Yeah, that was... Saina let that one go. That's not like Kodai Saina, but in some parts... The pitcher, you sometimes let a ball get away from you, and that's what happened. It's 3-1 Mets. It's 3-1 Astros. Sadly, that's sometimes what happened to you in baseball. And here's Mr. Yordan back up again. Yordan crushed the ball to make it 2-0 Astros. Soto made it 3-2, and then we just had Marcelo made it 3-1. There's typical Kodai Saina throwing that forkball. One of the best pitches in all baseball is that forkball of Kodai Senga. Sweeper misses. It's 2-2 count to Yordan Alvarez. I've yet to hear a trash can today, so that's good. Somehow, someway, Yordan fouls that pitch off. We're still a 2-2 count here at the bottom of the third. I think Senga, what he probably tried to throw was a sweeper and just sadly cut the wrong part of the plate, and that's why Marcelo was able to crush it. Walker will be up the bat next, the former Arizona Diamondback. Yordan Alvarez, there's Yordan again. Off the wall, bouncing off the dirt. Yordan, I'm going to say, he's easily getting into the double territory there. And Yordan is already halfway to a cycle. Yordan Alvarez just needs a single and a triple, and he's got his second ever cycle of his career. He had a cycle last year. But here's Christian Walker, like I said earlier, the former Arizona Diamondback and multi-time Gold Glove winner is Christian Walker. Walker signed to the Astros after the Diamondbacks signed Josh Naylor from Cleveland. It's like a first base trading there, kind of. Naylor to Arizona, and then Walker to Houston. Jordan at second. We'll see if Walker can bring him around. Oh, bobbled pitch there's Alvarez, but good thing they didn't go too far on that one. Still bottom the third inning. The Mets need to freaking get out of this inning fast, or else this would turn into a blowout for the Astros. A fastball lead pitch there by Senga. Maybe if you're the Mets, I would start trying to warm up the bullpen, just in case this game starts getting out of the hand. Get your bullpen guys ready. Because I've seen games where a team's been down and then they pull their starter, put their bullpen arms in, and that's, it turns the favor, turns the crowd of the game. There's a strikeout of Walker by Kodai Senga. He needed that bad.
Now batting.
And there's Yanier Diaz. For people that want to know about bullpen game, well, that was game 4. Oh, nice sliding play by Vientos. I'll know he'll get that one, though. Yeah, he didn't get that. Sliding play there by Mark Vientos, just not fast enough to get Diaz out at first. I mean, good hit by Diaz, too. Good thing that Vientos dived on that play. He almost caught that. But, no, just couldn't get in the glove properly, and he just threw a little bit too late and off the ball there for Alonso. Could have ended the inning, but it didn't. Here's Isak Paredes. See if Isak Paredes can get the Astros up 4-1, 5-1, or even 6-1. Here in the bottom of the third inning here. I'm going to keep calling this Minute Maid Park, even though it's not called Minute Maid Park anymore, because the name rights to Minute Maid Park got shipped off for a Japanese company in the off-season. Now it's owned by an air conditioning company, which is strange to even think about that to begin with, that there's an air conditioning company sponsoring a baseball field. And a swing and a miss to Isak Paredes, but the Astros are still up 3-1 thanks to a home run by Marcelo Dibon.
Leading off with the Mets.
We'll see if the Mets can make a comeback here. Francisco Lindor up here at the top of the fourth inning. Lindor, well, he's popped it up on his first at-bat. We'll see here. The Mets last year seem to be a team where they're not really a top of the innings type team. They more so like their middle and late innings. So we'll see if that will come to a rise again this season for the Mets. The low count here. Lindor is already up 3-0 in the count. Or are they going to walk Lindor to get to Pete Alonso? In my opinion, that's a mistake, but just because Alonso's bat is one hell of a swing to it. We'll see if that's the plan here for the Astros, and if you're the Astros manager, if there's a walk by Valdez to Lindor, then Pete Alonso capitalizes. Get your bullpen ready. Because the Astro bullpen, it's not bad, and there's a walk to Lindor, so this is already bad territory here. Second walk already by Flamber Valdez, and here's Alonso. We'll see if Big Meat Pete will capitalize. So I get why my Cavs are in first in the NBA. Just get out in the first round. Well, we'll see when it comes playoff time for basketball. I don't really watch basketball anymore. I have fallen out with it. Alonso fouls that one off. Heads up, by the way, in the stands. That was a hard-hit ball by Alonso into the foul territory. Sinker, beautiful inside sinker there by Valdez. We'll see if Alonso can capitalize. He's down 1-2 in this count. And good take by Alonso. You can definitely tell what the talk of the town was in the dugout for the Mets. Lindor is definitely trying to get them fired up as there's a swing and a miss. Alonso strikes out again. Tough miss there, and here's Brandon Nimmo. No, do not support the Hornets. I don't blame you on that one. Oh, Lindor. Ooh, Lindor almost got picked off there at first base. Good idea by Flamber Valdez to throw back to first. Nimmo looks at a curveball. Nimmo's been with them for a long time. Nimmo, I believe, if I remember correctly, was a part of that World Series team. Well, the team that went to the World Series in 2015. Last time the Mets have been to the World Series. Same with the Kansas City Royals. The Royals won in 2015. And the Mets were also there in 2015. Lost in 5 games to the Royals. 1-2 count here. Good take by Nimmo. The Mets make their comeback. They're going to have to start making some ground if they want to come back to the game, even though they're only down 2. Pitch by Valdez. It's a sinker outside for ball 3. Full count again to Brandon Nimmo. Got that MSWs tonight. And Nimmo strikes out. 5 already for Valdez, and up will come up will Francisco Alvarez. Alvarez, you know, he didn't have too great of a year last year, but 2023 Alvarez was good. And you can say the same for 2022 Alvarez. There's a beautiful sinker. That's right on the line by Flammer Valdez. I said earlier that Flammer Valdez is a dark horse type of man when it comes to the Cy Young talks. Mainly, I think, just because Valdez plays for the Astros, and everyone hates the Astros. But Valdez usually always has nasty stuff and can go into a lot of innings for the Astros when needed to be. And with the Astros this year, they don't need that, because in my opinion, they lost a lot of key pieces. And Francisco Alvarez is caught looking for another strikeout.
Leading off for the Astros.
All right, bottom of the 4th inning, 3-1 Astros. John Singleton in the bottom of the lineup for the Astros will come up.
That's high. That's a ball.
Yeah, MSW. I'm trying to remember what the main event tonight is going to be for that. What is going to be the main event for the MSW tonight? I don't think it will be Kobashi versus Brimstone. I think that's going to be next week. It's going to be something. I just don't remember. It might be... You know what? I can't think of what the main event will be tonight. It'll be a tag match for the main event. There's a swing and a miss for Singleton.
2-2.
Love how the pro North Carolina teams always suck except for Carolina. Devin versus Bray Wyatt, maybe? I think, but that might wait until Wasteland, maybe. And swing and a miss for Singleton. This is kind of the start that Kodai Senga needed if he wants to get back in the game. 7 strikeouts. Alright for Kodai Senga. I don't think he has 7 strikeouts there, game, but okay. Pena back up. Pena's trying to bunt? What? Pena's trying to bunt? Why are you bunting at a cutter? Pena trying to bunt at a cutter. Yeah, that's typical Jeremy Pena now for you these days. Pena swings and look out. He gone for the foul meshing there, or else that would have hit a fan. 0-2 count for Jeremy Pena. Pena will have to battle back. Pena fouls a cutter. My nose itches. I have to get a sip of water here soon after this inning. And somehow, someway, Pena connects with an outside pitch and gets on to first base. You have to stay his ass at first, even though he's got a little bit of speed to him. And here's Chaz McCormick. Pena can steal a base, so Francisco Alvarez will have to be ready for if Pena tries to steal second. Paul Skeens will have at least 7 strikeouts on the first game. On one game, and then another game he does terrible. Well, he's facing the Marlins, so again, the Marlins are pretty ass. But Cormick pop one up right here to left field. Right out to Brandon Nimmo. Usually the Mets have Brandon Nimmo in right field, but because they have Juan Soto, they have Juan Soto now in right field and Nimmo over in left. Back to Altuve. Altuve's yet to get on the board today with a hit. The Pirates have the Marlins this season. Pena trying to steal second, and he's caught stealing second. The ball bounced off the dirt. Pena decided to run, and he got gunned down. Don't know what Pena was thinking there. Right now, here's your pitching comparison here. Both men have pitched both. Santos gave up 3. Valdez gave up 1. 7-5 are the hits in favor for Valdez, but Valdez has walked 2 people, and Kodai Senga has 7 strikeouts. Devin said that Paul Skeens would have 7 strikeouts in one game. Kodai Senga has already matched that already. So here comes Jose Siri, the heart of the lineup for the Mets. Super Bowl 60 will be in San Francisco. I don't know if I'll watch the NFL this year. I'm probably just going to stick with college. NFL is too soft. Too many divers. Too many terrible calls. Siri, swing and miss on the sinker by Valdez. If the Astros want to keep this game where it is now, they need their pitching to do well in their bullpen. Remember, the Astros do have Josh Hader out of their bullpen, so if things get choppier near the end of the game, they can pull out Josh Hader. They signed Hader for that 4-year deal. 4-year. They signed Hader to a 4-year deal last offseason. And Hader did okay in the postseason, but he got rocked off of a 3 RBI bases clearing 3 RBI triple by Andy Ibanez in Game 2, the wild card, and against the Tigers. Fair play, or should I say death taxes and Taylor Swift and everything? Yeah, true. 1-1 to Marte, and a good look there for Marte to ball 2. Starling Marte, former member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was drafted there, and he was a part of the only Pirates team that's made the playoffs in the last 15 years. Last time the Pirates made the postseason was 2014, 2015, something like that was the last time the Pirates made the postseason. This is sadly true, yeah. And Marte will ground out Christian Walker. That's Marte's first time he's gone out on a vault today. And here's McNeil. Yeah, last time the Pirates made the playoffs was 2015 or 16. And they lost in the wild card round. And if I remember correctly, that game was the Johnny Cueto game where the fans were in Pittsburgh were chanting Cueto to Johnny Cueto. 1-1 to McNeil here. McNeil hit a ball up the middle. There's typical Jeff McNeil for you. He's an average guy. A couple of years ago in 2023, Jeff McNeil had a pretty decent season. Same with 2022 Jeff McNeil. That was that year the Mets had a great season, but got ousted in the wild card round due to the Padres because the Mets could never beat the Braves in 2022, and that cost them the division. Here's Juan Soto. Soto gets his second hit of the day. Juan Soto already with 2 hits today and an RBI. That's been 2015. All right, yeah. It's been 2015 since the Pirates have made the postseason. They might try to do it this year, but I don't think they will. Here's Mark Vientos. They don't need clutch Mark Vientos right now. They have 2 runners on base. Top of the 5th inning, they're only down by 2. All it takes is 1 swing and the game's tied. Vientos, and good catch by Walker. There's that Gold Glove defense by Christian Walker. That's why the Astros got him. Walker saves it there. Now bottom of the 5th for Jose Altuve. Alright, I need some water, so I'll let you guys watch a little bit of this bottom of the 5th inning while I get some water.
Now batting, center fielder, Mauricio Dubon. Now pitching for the New York Mets, number 70, Jose Budo.
Here's Jose Beatro. Beatro now for the Mets. Don't know. I think the Astros are double played, and that's why. Devin says the Pirates will be good at the start of the year, then they'll always fall off. That makes sense. I mean, you are playing the there's AJ Minter, but yeah, you are playing the friggin' Marlins to start the year. That's going to help you a lot. Because the Marlins are not a good team. In my opinion, the Marlins are the second worst team in the league this year. Only behind they're only ahead of the Chicago White Sox. And already Jose Beato, or he's got a 2-1 count for Marcelo DeBon, who hit a home run earlier today. He's also 2 for 2. Jose, no, fell off by Marcelo. Itchy nose again. Probably next video I'm going to do will be some Road to the Show, because I do plan on playing Road to the Show on this channel. Heck, I might even do Road to the Show today. I still got to make myself, that's the only problem. Here's Jordan. Can Jordan get another big hit? He's 2 for 2. Can Jordan go 3 for 3? He's already halfway to a cycle. All Jordan needs is a single and a triple. That'd be hilarious to see Jordan in a cycle today. Or any 2-0 count for Jordan Alvarez. Which is the worst, the 23-24 Pistons or the White Sox? The White Sox. It's the friggin' White Sox. How can you lose that many games in those amount of games? You only play, like, what? How many games in basketball? And look how many games you play in baseball. And you're telling me that you lost that amount of games? And Jordan fouls off. Full count for Jordan Alvarez. Almost knocked over my picture there in my wall by accident. Jose gets Jordan to strike out. That's a huge strikeout for the Mets. In my opinion, the Mets bullpen got a lot better this offseason. They signed a couple guys, and a lot of their younger guys in the bullpen got a lot better experience in the playoffs. Here's Christian Walker. The thing with the Astros are a lot better on the road than they are at home. And that's a big reason why they lost to the Tigers. It's because their home record is abysmal. They have one of the worst home records in the league, despite being the Astros. That's also the reason why they lost to the Texas Rangers in the American League Championship Series in 2023, which, again, the Rangers went on to win the World Series. Plus, it's also the reason why they lost to the Washington Nationals in the 2019 World Series. Walker strikes out, so the Mets again escape due to good pitching. So let's see, let's get the bats of the Mets going here. Here's Lindor. Can Lindor get the Mets on a rally?
1 ball, no strikes.
Well, like I said, Lindor, former Cleveland Indian / Guardian, was traded to the Mets, which still to this day baffles me of why the Cleveland Indians traded him. Yeah, I figure it's 82 games for the NBA, and a round out for Lindor. And Alonso's back up. Alonso needs to get his bat going, too, if the Mets want to win today. Here in the top of the 6th, they don't have too much to go, but they need to get going here. Their only run of the game was scored because of Juan Soto. So they need to get more people going other than Soto. Oh wow, that bounced off the mound right into the glove of Jose Altuve. That's unlucky for Pete Alonso, but a good job by Jose Altuve to read that ball.
Now batting, left fielder
Here's Brandon Nimmo. I'm betting that Josh Hader's got to be warming up here. You have to think that Josh Hader's going to be in that bullpen starting the bottom of the 6th inning. So that he's ready for Framber Valdez. Because Josh Hader, he's got some some flame throwing to him. Swing and a miss for Nimmo. Mets go down again. Here's Yadier Diaz. Diaz also today, he's had a decent day, 2 for 2, and he's been good behind the dish.
Nope, ball.
Excuse me for the yawn. See if Jose can help that Mets bullpen get out of this game. If the Mets do have to resort to it, they do have a damn good reliever, too, as a closer.
Ball.
Now I have an itch. Again on my nose. Apparently my nose is so itchy today, I don't know why. It's my nose hairs must be tickling my nose for some reason. 3-1 already to Diaz, and Paredes will come up next. Pirates might be the most unpredictable team this year. Yeah, that's mainly because the NL Central is kind of a weird division this year. Really, in my opinion, anyone but the Cardinals could win that division. I don't think the Cardinals will have a good year this year. Cardinals just have such a weird team this season, and Their ownership's been kind of going off and down. And wow, Diaz just looked at that. That's a surprise for Diaz. And Jose gets out of it again. Brewers are winning again? I can see that. I got the Cubs winning that division this year. Just because with the trades they've been making and the strides they've been making with their young players, that's why I think the Cubs will win the Central this year. But they're the only, in my opinion, they'll be the only playoff team from the Central. Because it's going to be hard to get those wild card spots from teams like the Phillies or Braves or Mets or Diamondbacks or Padres. Heck, even the Giants aren't that bad this year. And the Giants got Willie Adames from the offseason. Yeah, the Giants finally got a good player to sign with them this year.
Up next for the Astros.
And the Giants will start the year over in Cincinnati to play the Reds and Ellie De La Cruz.
That missed. That's a ball.
Oh, big yawn. Crazy to believe the Brewers even won that division last year, too, just with losing Corbin Burns and plus their injuries to their starting pitching core. You know, getting some of those injuries back this year, too, with Brandon Woodruff. Brandon Woodruff's going to play this year. We don't know when, but we do know that Freddie Peralta will be the open day starter for the Brewers this year against the Yankees. Pena's on deck. 3-1 for Singleton here, and a walk to John Singleton. He won't be stealing any bases, so if Pena grounds out, then it's over. It's so hard to predict some of these divisions in baseball, mainly because of divisions like the American League East or the NL East. Those are so hard to predict because of how good your teams are in that division. I mean, in both those divisions, there's 3 teams that can win that division. You had the Orioles, Yankees, and Red Sox in the AL, and Pena lines out to McNeil. All right, top of the 7th here, Brian Abreu comes out for the Astros. Of course, they do not have Ryan Presley anymore. Ryan Presley was traded to the Cubs.
Brian Abreu.
And there's Kane. I'm surprised that Hader's not warming up. I'm going to be warming up Josh Hader. I guess they don't think that Hader's ready for yet. Oh, man, Francisco Alvarez, though, but flies it clean right to right field.
Now batting.
It's Chaz.
Jose Siri.
There's Siri. Siri actually has a little bit of power to him, so Jose Siri can maybe try to get something going. Siri swings and misses off the fastball. I'm still flabbergasted that the Astros don't have Josh Hader warming up. Hader's their guy. They signed him to a 4-year deal. He should be warming up now. You never know when you might need to pull out Josh Hader. 0-2 to Siri. Siri will take the slider down for ball 1. There's definitely one series I won't do on this channel, on the opening series, and that's the Angels and White Sox. That's terrible. That's a terrible series. Those are 2 teams, in my opinion, that will have the worst. In my opinion, they're going to have the 2 worst records in the American League, both the Angels and the White Sox.
Count is full.
And that's just because the White Sox suck, and the Angels are just going nowhere. The Angels have the worst farm system in the league. It's not even funny. Like, other than Christian Moore, like, who do they have? And Siri gets walked already. Wow, Siri was down 2-0 in that count, and he came back and got the walk. Mets are trying to rally again. Here's Marte. And the Mets get back. Oh, Siri trying to steal. Siri's fast. That's the thing that made Siri go to Tampa Bay, is because Tampa needed some more fast players, and he signed with the Rays, then he just got moved here to the Mets. So he would utilize his speed on the base pass. He might try to steal second here. No one in this game has a stolen base yet. Swing and a miss for Starling Marte. After this will be Jeff McNeil, which is not too bad of a hitter to have up next. Marte hits the, oh wow, there's a grounder, but it gets through. Siri might try to go to third, and Siri gets to third. We got runners on the corners. The Mets are surging here in the top of the 7th. What a nice hit, and we might see a pitching change here. And we will. Bennett Sosa up now for the Astros, but Jeff McNeil has put himself in a spot that he needs to be clutching. He's got runners on the corners. He's got the fast Jose Siri coming up at third. You got Marte at first. If I'm Jeff McNeil, it might not be a bad idea to lay down a bunt. Just all depends on if the infielders are in for the Astros. If they are not in, just go for a bunt.
1-1.
Might throw them off. 1-1 to McNeil here. McNeil pops it up. That's an unfortunate pop-up for Jeff McNeil. McNeil's out, but guess who's up? Juan Soto. Soto already has an RBI today. Soto could be the hero the Mets need. Can Soto be the clutch man again for the Mets? He's got the only RBI for him today. Soto hits the ball. Will it drop? No, it will not. It will be caught out in center field. Again, the Mets try to do it, but they just can't get the job done. And there's Sean Reed Foley out of the bullpen for the Mets here at the bottom of the 7th with Chas McCormick. Mets again, they tried to surge, they tried to get the lead, they tried to get close to the lead of the Astros, but they just couldn't get the job done. 2 pop-ups, 1 pop-up, 1 fly-out. But they had runners on the corners, they just couldn't capitalize. They will have to do that, though, in the 8th and 9th inning if they want to beat the Astros or get the game tied. That'd be crazy, though, if this game goes to extra innings. That'd be awesome. The first game that I do on this channel is an extra innings game between the Mets and Astros. Well, a lot of people say the Astros won't win the West Division this year. That's just mainly because they lost Kyle Tucker and lost Brian Presley and other people like that. Man, the Astros still have a decent team. The only issue is they don't know where to put certain people. They want to try to put Jose Altuve in the outfield, but they also want to bring him back somewhere else. Speaking of Altuve, here he is. Second all-time in postseason home runs is Jose Altuve, only behind Red Sox legend Manny Ramirez. And Manny Ramirez is in this game this year. He's in MLB The Show 25 this year. Uh-oh, that's a close one there. McCormick was thinking about going to second. The ball did not go the way he wanted. 2-0 count for Jose Altuve for Sean Reed Foley. Now you got full count to Altuve. And DeBond is coming up next. Even if there's double play, he's coming up anyway. Nice good pitch there for Sean Foley to get a little bit back into his own head here. He was trying to throw the ball and make Jose Altuve swing and miss, but it's hard to do that for Altuve. Altuve, former MVP, 2017 MVP. A lot of people think that should have went to Aaron Judge. But no, it was a Jose Altuve year that year. That's a bad pitch to throw to that man. Jose Altuve has left the yard. It's 5-1 Astros. Jose Altuve lives for those clutch moments, and he just showed why right there. Jose Altuve crushes one 369. 5-1 Houston. That was crushed. Bad pitch to throw to Jose. I think it was right down the middle, too. That's bad. Yeah, it basically was a right down the middle fastball. That's a terrible pitch to throw to Jose Altuve. Altuve just sent that ball to the moon, really. Went off of the sign as well. 5-1 Houston. The fans are loving it here in Houston. They're up 5-1. The Mets were surging, then they just fell apart, and then now it's 5-1 thanks to Altuve. And look at that, already the first pitch of that after the home run, it's an out. That's terrible for the Mets. Here's Jordan. Remember, he upped the Mets action start. The Astros score started with that 2-run shot. Since then, Jordan's been okay. He hit a double, then he hasn't done anything since that double. Could he put the Astros score up even more? We'll start with looking at a fastball here by Sean Reed-Foley. Sean Reed-Foley, kind of one of those younger bullpen arms for the Mets this year. Foul off of a circle change there by Yordan Alvarez on an 0-2 count. And Alvarez, another foul. Look out. I want the fans to be hurt here, Yordan. Come on now. Astros have been absolutely dominating since 2017. The Astros have won the American League West Division every year, other than 2020, if I remember correctly. That is the only year they haven't won the American League West. And that was because a lot of their players were injured that season, and the Athletics had a decent year that year. And there's a strikeout for Yordan. But other than that 2020 year, the Astros have won the American League West and have made every American League Championship game since 2017. 2024 is the first time they haven't made it in a long time. That was because they got knocked out by the Tigers. That American League Championship Series was the Yankees and Guardians. And that was the first year the Guardians made the Championship Series since 2016, which is the year they went to the World Series and lost to the Cubs. And swing and a miss. Down goes the Astros again, but Jose Altuve made more damage to the armor of the Mets. Top of the 8th, the Mets are down by 4. Mark Vientos. And the Mets rally down from 4. They've done it before. They came back from 4, but the only problem is there's 2 innings to go. This and the 9th inning. They need to get their bats hot now. They need their comeback to go. They also need to shut out the Astros, which they're doing just fine of doing until, that home run by Jose Altuve. think this will be the only game I'm going to do today. Line out there by Vientos to Christian Walker, and there's 1 out. Mets are only down to 5 outs. 5 more outs for the Mets in this game. I think, because after this game, I'm just going to do some, Diamond Dynasty stuff. Maybe get things ready for Road to the Show. And tonight during MSW, I'm thinking about making some people on WWE 2K25. I might do that, I might not. We will see. But here's Lindor. Lindor's not had a good day today. That's probably why the Mets have not been doing well. Because other than Lindor by Juan Soto, it's not been a good day for the Mets hitting core, as Lindor has gone out again. Pete Alonso now up. Can Alonso get his bat going? Again, like I said, this has been a terrible day for the Mets hitting core. They can't get things going offensively other than that 1 RBI by the man known as Juan Soto. I mean, it's a pretty rough first series that they have to go against the Astros. There we go. Alonso finally gets on the board with a hit. Well, that starts the Mets rally. And the Mets rally now. They got a runner, but they cannot mess up. And here's Brandon Nimmo. Nimmo will have to be good this year. The Mets want to make the postseason. He had a good year last year. Ooh, outside fastball called strike. Must have painted a little bit of that corner for Bennett Sosa. Nimmo. And Nimmo will just fly it out to right. So now the Mets are only down to 3 outs remaining. In a 5-1 game, here comes A.J. Minter, former member of the Atlanta Braves.
A.J. Minter.
I said the Mets are only down to 3 outs. So after this, bottom of the 8th, we're on the top of the 9th inning. It'll be rough for the Mets. So the Mets fan base might have to look away at the top of the 9th inning unless the Mets somehow might come back and get 4 runs at the top of the 9th. Which, I mean, it has been done before. The only problem is it's going to be a rough one. 1-1 here to Yadier Diaz by A.J. Minter. Minter's been around the league a little bit. He's been to a few other teams other than just the Braves. But a lot of people may remember him as a Met. Or not as a Met, as a Brave.
That's in.
2-2 to Yanier Diaz. Speaking of the Braves, we might have the Braves game on this opening day, as the Braves will play the Padres in San Diego at Petco Park, one of my favorite ballparks in all of MLB. It's either Petco Park or PNC Park. That's the best park in the entire league, in my opinion. Diaz looks at that pitch for a strikeout. Here comes Isak Paredes. Again, another one of those guys that has not done too much in this game for the Astros, but the Astros big boys have came clutch today. There's been two-run shots, and he had the one solo home run. And Paredes will foul that one off. A lot of people saying that the Astros finish second today in this league, in the American League West, only to the Texas Rangers. That is mainly because the Rangers have gotten back some key parts. And guys like Jacob DeGrom, they have Corey Seager again, Marcus Semien. They also got Jock Peterson in free agency, along with Kyle Higashioka. Nathan Eovaldi re-signed. And they could trade for someone. Paredes again with another foul. And then probably below them will be the Seattle Mariners. The only thing with the Mariners are their pitching staff's great. They probably, in my opinion, the best five-man rotation in baseball. The only problem is their hitters are garbage. They can't seem to do well when it comes to offense, other than Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh. Then you have the Angels and the Athletics. The Athletics could be a fun team to watch this year. And the Angels, well, other than Mike Trout, they're... Ugh, that's what they are. Ugh. 3-2, full count to Isak Paredes, and Paredes will take the walk. Good job there by Isak Paredes to take the walk, and here's John Singleton. No one is scared of that bottom of the Astro lineup, but that's the thing, though. The Astros bomb the lineup, but Singleton, McCormick, and Pena, it's got some power, got some speed to it. Both Singleton and McCormick do have some power to him. Pena used to have power, but he hardly does anymore. It's just speed and fielding. It's kind of just like, an all-around ball lineup type of thing. Where Singleton's your power, Pena's your speed, and McCormick's your all-around type of guy. Singleton would help the middle, and no one can get to that one in time. And already the Astros have two people on base in the bottom of the 8th inning. They want to keep up the damage, they can. They know they can. They're up by 4. Why not add more to the lead? Excuse me, that's my throat there again. Pena fouls off circle change. I wonder who the Astros will put up here at the top of the 9th inning. Will it be Hader? Will it be someone else? Probably would have been Brian Presley if he was still here. But he is not. Or Brian Helsley, sorry. But he's not here anymore, of course. He's in Chicago. Foul ball again by Pena. Right into the Houston crowd. Might be a free souvenir for someone, too. With the OH is at full effect here. Pena takes the cutter for ball 1. Already 22 pitches already in the inning thrown by A.J. Minter. This will be 23. Something you don't want to do if you're a reliever, really, in my opinion. Another foul. A lot of foul balls in these at-bats by the bottom of the Astro lineup. Probably why they've been doing well. So they keep doing all these fouls and make the Mets pitchers a little tired. Another foul again by Jeremy Pena. There's Juan Soto trying to get the ball. Soto really the only Met today that's contributed to anything when it comes to the offense. Ball there for Pena, 2-2. Already 25 pitches in the inning by Minter, and he just came in this inning. Pena is going to pop one up to left to Brandon Nimmo. And there's now 2 outs in the inning. No, and Paredes will not tag. And here's McCormick. Chaz McCormick yet to get a hit in the season. He's only been walked today, but that walk allowed Jose Altuve to crush a ball and made it 5-1. McCormick will hit one off the wall. Chaz McCormick crushes the ball off the wall. It is now 6-1 Astros. RBI single, Chaz McCormick. Now Altuve is back up to bat. Not doing well today for the Mets. They're now down 5. Altuve up. Minter is getting tired. You can tell he is. There's usually tired relievers don't always throw the best pitches, and that one Chaz wasn't too great. 30 pitches on this inning for AJ, and like I said, he's just a reliever, and he came in this inning. So many foul balls, so many random pitches outside the zone have killed him today. Swing and miss for Altuve, 1 and 2. Can they just get out of this inning while giving up only that one run? Minter foul again by Altuve. I bet most of the pitches that Minter's thrown in this inning have been fouls. Altuve will pop one up to center to Siri, and that will end the 8th inning. It's now 6-1 the Astros, thanks to Chaz McCormick. And some walks and a hit as well. Top of the 9th inning, Taylor Scott coming in, not Tanner Scott. Tanner Scott's with the Dodgers, but Taylor Scott
Number 50.
is now up for the Astros to try to end the Mets here. Lance McCullers Jr. and Luis Garcia are in the bullpen for the Astros. Now, McCullers, he is coming back from an injury from Tommy John and surgery. And then Garcia is also a little bit like that, too, coming off surgery. We'll see here if the Astros can end the Mets with Taylor Scott. 0-2, and a good take by Francisco Alvarez. Alvarez, a young catcher for the Mets. Called up in, I think, 2021, if I remember correctly. And a ground out to Christian Walker. And Scott went into the base pass, the first out of the top of the 9th. Mets down to 2 outs. Jose Siri up next. After Siri will be starting Marte. A beautiful pitch there by Taylor Scott for the first strike of this at-bat. That's the same with the Astros. They do have good pitching. That's what's going to help them, is that pitching staff of the Astros. Especially when you got guys like Flamer Valdez and Hunter Brown and Spencer and Getty. There's a strikeout for Taylor Scott, and the Mets are down to their final out. Starling Marte could be the final out of the game for the Mets. And the Astros close the door here and end it 6-1 here at home on opening day against the Mets. Marte fouls a pitch off. Now they're down to their final strike. Getting Scott strike out Marte and end the game. Give the Astros the win here on opening day. The pitch, and he looks at it for the win. The Astros beat the Mets here on opening day. 6-1's your final. And a great start to the year already for the Houston Astros. No trash cans needed for that win. And it's a towel rain of orange here in Houston. Yeah, Framber Valdez gets the win. Sagan is the loss. 6-1 is your final. 11 hits for the Astros, 9 for the Mets. And the Astros lead the opening week series 1-0 against the Mets. Rough one for the Mets today. They did not do well hitting-wise, but a great one for the Astros pitching staff. Whenever the Astros pitching staff was in a clinch, they just turned the knob on the door and stopped them from coming through. But when the Astros needed them the most, their hitters came through. Their guys like Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez came through when they needed to be. And then there's that hit by Dion. Nice pimp job, too, with throw of the bat. Altuve's 2-run shot was also a nice one to watch. Big win for the Astros, and need that to shut up the haters this year. To get them a start on a good path, try to get back to the World Series. Your player of the game today, Francisco Alvarez for the Astros. 6 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, and an earned run. Great game for Framber Valdez and the Astros. Altuve, 2 for 5 with a bomb and 2 RBIs. Yordan went 2 for 4 today with a home run and a double and 2 RBIs. And Marcelo DeBon, 2 hits, home run and RBI. And the big one for the Mets was Juan Soto going 2 for 4 today. Big win there for the Astros. They want to shut up the haters, try to win that division again. It's a good start to it. You know, beat up on one of the teams that a lot of people say is going to be great this year. I don't know why I have it on the Royals here, but I just do. Well, let's talk about some of the games that I'm going to do. So we just saw this game here. I think the next game, what I might do is thinking about Red Sox and Rangers for this one, for the next one here. And then I'm going to have either that one or Braves and Padres. But, you know, I could always change it and go with something like Giants and Reds, or Twins and Cardinals, or Tigers and Dodgers. Well, I plan on doing Tigers and Dodgers. Well, you know, I could do Athletics and Mariners too, but of course we'll have to find that out when it happens. But anyway, the Astros win the first game of the 2025 season. We'll see you for your next game whenever that happens, and whatever teams are on that one. Anyway, we'll see you next time.